All right, pre-show shenanigans. Some interesting developments have happened in Major League Baseball. Everett, the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, the hurricane hit Florida, a lot of damage to the
Yes,
trop.
somebody got a free Tampa Bay Ray division series winner flag or pennant.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Those
Yeah.
definitely went flying. Yeah, but the trop is destroyed. But the MLB or the Rays have announced for this upcoming season they will be playing at the Steinbrenner minor league complex, which is the Yankees
Yeah, it's
minor
right
league
next to
complex.
Raymond James Stadium for the
Oh,
Bucks.
I didn't know that
I only
detail.
know
That's
that because
that's
when we
fun.
drove in, I saw the Yankees Stadium sign.
That makes a lot of that adds up. But they will be playing in a minor league stadium. Everett. Now, also, they're not the only team playing in a minor league stadium. I bet you could probably guess the other team playing in a minor league stadium next season.
The
It's
Oakland
your
A's.
favorite. Now
Sorry,
I
they're
think
still no the same way Staples is always Staples. It's the Oakland A's. I don't care if you're in Vegas, but yeah, the
I
A's.
think they
They dropped Oakland. It's just
now
the
yeah
Athletics.
yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. I think for the next 2 years when they're in the minor league stadium in where is it exactly? Where are they
Not
playing?
not in like Frisco. Where is it? It's
Bay
down.
Area, not in Oakland though. Specifically, not in Oakland, but Bay Area, I
I
believe.
thought it's
Still,
lower. I thought they weren't even in the Bay.
it could be.
I
It
thought
could
it
be a
was
little
like
low.
lower. It's like
Anyway, it's
Sacramento. I don't
not
know.
Vegas where they're going to move.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
Vegas,
stupid.
but
That was
so
dumb.
yeah, we got the Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Athletics. Not yeah, just the Athletics. That's what they're
Yeah.
going by now. They will be playing somewhere in
That's
central
the
to
something I
northern
never understand.
California.
Why would you move to a temporary stadium when your stadium is being built in a different state? Not like we're tearing down the stadium or anything.
My only thought
That's
is
like saying, hey, the Bills are building a new stadium right now.
I think
So
I know the
let's go
answer
and move
actually.
them.
I think I know the answer because they had such little amount of people attending the games that
You
it
think that this
probably
is gonna
cost
draw
them
more?
a lot. No, 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 no. But it cost them a lot of money to operate the stadium, whereas the
I
minor
guess
league stadium will cost
maybe
less to
maybe
operate.
their lease on the Coliseum was up and they
I
didn't
got
want to
no
sign for
clue.
2 years. So that's probably what it was. I bet you the
Yeah.
lease was probably up and they didn't have enough time to build the new stadium that wasn't approved in time. So now
To
they're
be
just
honest, though,
doing a
the
1 year
Oakland
thing.
fans, when they protested by not attending the games, like, I want you guys to know that it worked. Like, it did work.
It did. It just
You
didn't go the way
guys
you wanted it to.
No, 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 yeah, it didn't go the way, but it did work. You proved to the owners how powerful
I just want
fans
to be on.
are still.
I know it's Vegas, so I know that it's just people are going to go either way. But I really do hope that the nation unites on this one topic and just still protests the A's when they're in Vegas,
Just forever.
just
Oh,
forever
yeah.
until they sell the team. Just do not go to the. I
But
want them to be in the
Everett, I
red
just
permanently.
realized we're going to grow up. We're going to be 50, 60, 70 years old, and we're going to remember the Oakland A's. But like the Montreal Expos, what the Washington Nationals used to be, to us, that's like, what the hell? Like, that's a
Yeah, but
artifact,
I do feel like it's a
Like,
little bit
that's,
different because the A's have always been there. The Expos, like
yeah,
it's
yeah, no, I
brief
get what you mean.
enough where it's not necessarily the same thing. Like the Oakland A's were 100 years old.
But Oakland, like, they're one of the most recognizable, iconic baseball franchises.
Yeah. Also, the all other differences there is like Moneyball and other actual like
Yeah, there are
things
cultural
documenting it.
impacts which helped
Yeah,
it get to that
yeah,
stage. But
yeah,
regardless, like, if you went up to an NFL watcher who only watches the NFL, they're aware of who the Oakland Athletics
yeah.
are. They're aware
I
of
guess
that
an
team.
NFL comparison. I mean, you couldn't say was it the Browns leaving to become the Ravens, but then they
Yeah.
recreated the Browns. The comparison, I guess, would be the Houston Oilers dissolving.
Yeah, to the
That
Titans, right? They went to
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess also you have that's also the other thing. Seattle
Minneapolis to
Supersonics.
LA. The Lakers,
Yes,
we stole.
yes.
I mean, hey, I'll
Supersonics,
be honest.
Supersonics too.
I don't think I pieced together in my mind why the LA Lakers were called the Lakers until like maybe we were in like sixth
Is
grade. And
Is
one day you
Seattle
pointed out to me, like, you do know the Lakers were from Minneapolis, right? I'm
yeah.
like, huh? What?
Is Seattle the only team in our lifetime until now that has moved? I guess in
Are you
Arizona,
talking
the
Sonics to
Coyotes.
Thunder?
Yeah. Coyotes have moved now too, I guess. But I'm just trying to think of teams that have moved
Yeah,
locations.
because Chargers don't count. That doesn't count.
No.
So,
That's also in state. I'm thinking more so just out
yeah,
of state, not just
Raiders
like,
don't count too.
yeah. No. Well,
Uh,
Raiders I would
I mean,
count.
yeah, no,
Rams
they
moved
do
back to
count.
LA, but that's also
Yeah,
kind of weird because they were also originally in
yeah,
LA. So that's kind of a
yeah. No,
caveat.
there's a lot of,
Kind of weird.
yeah.
Yeah, motions in the ocean. I don't really know what's going on over there, but uh
I feel like though this is gonna be I'm happy they're keeping the name the Athletics, but like,
yeah, you can't change that. Like that would
yeah,
be
you can't.
that would be an actual attack on baseball.
Yeah, no, quite literally, like, my God, I'm just thinking of,
I guarantee you the owner's like, yeah, I also want to change the name. The other owner's just like, no, absolutely not.
yeah. At some point, you gotta, one thing I do love about
One of them
sports is
one
the
of them was
tradition.
probably
I love that. I love the history
the
about it.
Guardians owners was probably just like, hey, I'll take Athletics. If Athletics is available, I'll change it from Guardians. We'll become
Oh
the
yeah,
Cleveland
oh
Athletics.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. They're like, please bail us out.
please,
Like that was a
please let
mistake.
him.
Like that G logo with the wings makes
Yeah, not
zero
it. It was
sense. Like
not the right idea. And I guarantee you, if that did happen, everybody would be like, this is the greatest thing to happen. Like they'd be
Cleveland
praising
A's
the
kind of
Guardians
rolls off the
Cleveland
tongue.
for the Cleveland A's. Yeah,
Cleveland A's.
they'd be praising the Cleveland A's for making the change and being like, thank you for taking the Athletics brand and doing something with it.
Okay, while we're on this topic, I heard this the other day. I'm stealing this. I want to make that clear from the yak, but
Citing
Houston
sources.
sports.
Hey, just want to say citing sources.
Hey, yeah, you can't
Gotta
call me
cite
out
kids.
for
Hey, it's
plagiarism,
kids.
folks.
No plagiarism.
Can't call me
Always
out for
cite your
that.
sources. Always
Yeah,
cite
dude,
your sources.
don't be a Michigan
citing.
man.
Yeah, don't
Own
do
up
that.
to it. Don't cheat. Don't cut corners, or else you'll end up as a Michigan man, like Stallions, coaching a recruit they're trying to get to Michigan, Bryce Underwood and Everett, Michigan, Dave Portnoy, offered him $10 million, and he responded to it on Instagram. Him with an LSU holding up number 2. I took
That's
that
what that
as
was.
Michigan. You're number 2 in my rankings.
Yeah.
That didn't move the
Hey,
needle
we
for
know
me.
a certain quarterback that might be going there, so it might not matter. But
Yeah. But Houston, I think the Houston Texans need to rebrand. And Everett, tell me what you think about this. But I think Houston needs to stay with the space theme. Okay, you got the Houston Rockets NBA, you got the Houston Astros MLB. I think you need to stay on the theme of space, but let's take it one step further.
does
Now,
Texans
when it comes to
not
Houston,
constitute as literal state?
no, well, yeah, but like I want to represent Houston, not necessarily the state of Texas.
I will.
You
I
get what
mean,
I'm
hey,
saying?
I get that, but also I think you'd be doing a disservice if you're asking them to redo that logo because those helmets with the horns.
Oh,
and
they're
everything,
hard. They're
yeah,
so hard.
I mean, hey,
No, they're very hard. But when I tell you the same, I think you might be on board.
okay.
But let me.
All right, you really have to
first,
sell me because I really like that
let
logo.
me set this up a little bit first. So one thing about the Texans I love. Now Stephon, of course, ACL injury, but in the ideal world where they're at their peak with all their weapons, Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins. I just love the vibes going on in Houston. And one of my favorite things is their first down celebration. They hit the little loop-de-loop first down point. Drew Aller was trying to do that a lot the other week. And then Will Howard to ice the game on his last first down. He hit it looking at Drew Aller right in the eyes, right back at him. But Everett, instead of the Houston Texans, I think they should be called the Houston Problems. Because when you have to match up against Houston, you're going to see a lot of problems on that team. I feel like that's one of the most creative, best names you could possibly have. The Houston Problems.
The problem is that works two ways. That worked well right now, but if you went back 10 years and you call them the Houston Problems, that would just be insulting the team because they were actually internally a problem they saw.
That is true. But with D'Amico,
yeah, but
They are the problem in a good
I don't know.
way.
I don't know if that one's gonna fly. I think you gotta.
I like that one.
Marketing. I
The
don't really
Houston
know.
problems. Oh my God.
I don't
Oh
really
my
know. I
God.
don't. I get that you're trying to work with the Houston. We have a problem. I get that, but I don't think
Yes,
everybody will.
I
I
hope
don't think everybody will get
you
that.
don't. You don't think?
I
You
don't
don't think?
know. I don't know on face
You
value if
don't think
somebody's
so?
gonna get on that. I don't know on face value. I think
Yeah, it takes a
when you
little bit
make
of
the connection,
explanations.
I think when you take the explanation, you flesh it,
If
they'll
the
be like, okay, yeah,
Lakers
I get
can be
that.
a team,
That's also different. That is different.
I think the alliteration of LA Lakers helps it a lot, and you don't even question it.
Yeah, no. Also, they've just
It just
always
rolls off
been.
the
They've
tongue. You're like,
also
oh, LA Lakers.
always been the Lakers. Everybody now. When did they move? Like 62. Like they before then. Like they've just always
I don't
been
have a
the
date.
LA
That
Lakers.
sounds accurate.
Yeah, they've always just been the LA Lakers. If you actively went and changed Houston's name now to the Houston Problems,
I well,
I mean,
we would have a branding problem for a couple of years, but we just need to get through that. We just need to get through that, okay? And I think we can get through that. We'll just win a lot of football games. We'll get through that.
I mean,
and
look, if we wanted to change any team's name, one, it should be the Washington Commanders. First of all, two, do like the Commanders, but we do need to change that logo. That logo is.
It has grown on me a lot, though. Washington Commanders.
I'm just saying, Washington Commanders. I get it. Patriotism,
it's grown
right?
on
Washington. Me. But like, think about it. Like, shouldn't the logo be like an actual like military commander, kind of like cartoon, like kind of style guy?
If they literally took the Patriots logo but put it in red and yellow, it would work.
It would work. I would also
and you
take
just flip it. You just flip it, so it's not exactly the same.
I kind of take like a general, just like the face of a general with the hat coming down, kind of like this, like covering the eyes a little bit. If you get what I'm saying. Like,
yes, the like beret down. Thing.
Yeah,
not a beret, but
yeah, kind of like the green beret.
It might be called a beret.
A beret would work.
Yeah,
or like just
specifically
like the white brim, the brim's kind of down above your head.
Yeah, I'm specifically thinking of General Shepard from the MW2 campaign right now.
That would work.
Okay, all right, just making sure we're on the same page. All right, yeah, no, that sounds good. But yeah, and then last exciting news: the Florida Gators found the Zach Edey. They have a 7'9" freshman, and I believe he's redshirting to put on weight. He's too skinny.
I don't blame him for doing that. That probably is necessary.
I guarantee you're gonna hear that guy next year. He's gonna look like freshman Zach Edey, so uncoordinated, can't even grab a rebound properly. Like he takes 2 tries to catch the rebound, and then by year 2, he'll be coordinated enough to like average an 18 and 12 every game, but everyone will objectively know he's not that good at basketball. But by the time he's a senior, Everett, he's going to have a little baby hook and a little shimmy down low like Drew Timme. And then people are going to think he's going to be amazing.
And he's going to develop a sky hook and become Kareem?
I'm not sure if I genuinely don't know.
I don't think you could
be a big man again who can.
I don't know if you could even. I think he's too tall to do a sky hook.
Yeah,
I don't think it is a sky hook at that point. He is the sky.
No, literally at that point, like just drop the ball directly downwards into the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your most efficient shot. But all right, that's going to do it for the pre-show. Wow, what an intro for everybody. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 274. And we got a big week of NFL football up ahead. Massive week of NFL football.
Really there's some stuff on college football, but we did spend a lot of time last episode on it.
You know, we got Georgia, Tennessee, and hey, I'm probably, you know what, I'm gonna do this for Tennessee, but I don't see how Georgia loses.
Nico's not playing.
Nico's been questionable. Nico's been banged up. Nico is without doubt playing in this football game. Of course he's going to play. He's going to play. I don't care if he didn't practice all week. Nico's playing in this game. But yeah, we spent a lot of time on this throughout the week. Yeah, I'd say if there's another maybe game I'm looking in that could be interesting, might have some implications. Should I feed rat poison on this podcast or no, Everett?
I don't think we'll feed the rat poison, but we'll just lament. Big word, lament, that it is a big game this weekend.
Hey, 9 a.m. Ohio
if
State will be playing, and that will not be the game I'm focusing on. I'll
if
leave it at that.
the AAC championship game can be locked down this weekend for two teams, uh, should a certain team win in against a military team. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking though, like that. That objectively should be just a good experience. Like going to Navy, playing there. Like I have no idea what it's like going on the road to Navy. But
I mean, look,
that, that
so here is the nice thing though, because we played the Military Bowl there last year. Like we have experience in the stadium, like we've been there before. We know what the whole outlook's going to be. I guarantee you, we're staying in the same hotel as we did when we were preparing for the
okay.
Military Bowl. I guarantee you that, like, we're gonna get in there. It's gonna be actually, I'm not sure if it's the same locker room. I think we were in the home locker room, but like we've been in that stadium. We know what the environment's like. We know how cold it can get, how rainy it can get, how gross it can get. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be there in Annapolis this weekend, but it's a big game, and you just gotta go out and do some ball. So you know we'll see what happens, but really the biggest loss, the biggest knock that could happen this week is lose and you're out of the playoffs. Lose and it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the year. You could win the AAC and you're not making playoffs. Barring Boise State just absolutely falls apart. But
yeah, I'd say
yeah,
that's another thing about college football. A lot of the times, I'm operating under a lot of assumptions, and
yeah.
this year
Assumptions
there
are
are
out the
no
window.
assumptions.
This
year,
yeah.
You can't be assuming this year.
Yeah, there is no assumptions. But I don't think it's rat poison just to state what the outcomes are. I would say
I'm excited for the football game. Yeah, I don't think that's rat poison. Yeah.
No, I mean, I also don't think it's rat poison to say that if Tulane wins, they are in the AAC championship game.
Yeah, that's
so
just
is
a
Army.
fact.
So is Army. That's stating a fact.
There's no.
I believe if Tulane wins this game, they lock it in, and I think we're hosting. So, big week, big movements for the American Conference. Army takes on Notre Dame this week, which is also a big game. If they somehow upset that just creates massive waves for everything. Notre Dame probably wouldn't make the playoffs. Army would be ranked higher. Don't know what's happening with Boise State, but if Tulane then beats Army, that could create dividends in the playoffs, because if Boise could be ranked high, but if now Tulane has a win over Army, a ranked win over, because I don't think that Boise has anything besides UNLV. If UNLV was ranked that week too, like that creates differences.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, so then you have a ranked win champion compared to a champion with no ranked wins, like. So it could make, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on, especially with that last G5 guaranteed spot. And also, don't discount Wazoo. Wazoo also really hard to happen, but they
can't get a conference champ bye.
No, they can't.
They need to have 10
that's
teams.
why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying very difficult to happen. But they are also in contention for that seed, for that at large bid that is likely going to a G5 team.
Objectively,
probably not going to happen, but.
They should be treated the same as Notre Dame, but like Notre Dame has like the name brand that carries them, and it's like when this playoff first started, like I literally thought to myself, if Notre Dame goes undefeated, then they're the 5 seed, and then they have a pretty nice path. And I was literally thinking, like, did a Notre Dame alum come up with this system? Because it seems like Notre Dame really benefits.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if like Penn State, Notre Dame, and like one SEC school, like Tennessee, got together and just like, all right, let's come up with something real quick. It's just on the whiteboard, pins everywhere, whatever. Just like, let's come up with something.
And then Brian Kelly hopped in on the Zoom call and he's like, actually, we need to expand to 16. Got to get the Tigers in too. So that's why we're going to more. Shout out B. Kelly. But yeah.
Yeah, once you go to 16, then those 3-loss SEC teams will get in.
Yeah.
So I did see something this week, though. After we kind of published our things talking about how we don't think 3-loss teams will get in, I saw somebody talking about how a 3-loss team
Heather
get in.
Dinich, the
And
literal the chief of propaganda
yeah, and I
out of
think that's
ESPN.
totally. I think if you guys saw that, I would not listen to that. I don't. I think that's total.
She's quite literally the definition
I think
of
that's
a
total
college
BS.
football elitist, and
Yeah, I think that's total BS.
she biased towards Ohio State. So sometimes I like to drink her
Sometimes you have to
Kool-Aid.
side her. Yeah,
Sometimes I love what she's saying, but like she's very elitist, and like she'd be the type of person to sit down during the committee, like giving their calling, and she'll tell you with a straight face she believes 9-3 Missouri should be in over 11-1 Indiana, and she'll be dead ass serious. She believes that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really listen to those kind of things. Look, get your Waterboy analytics. All right, that's the truth. That's the accurate measurable test. Right. But those are really the two. I would say the two biggest games this week, ironically, are Tennessee, Georgia, and Tulane Navy. Those are probably the biggest impact games or relevancy this week out of everything.
Yeah, that Georgia Tennessee game. My only quick thoughts is that like if I were to compare Georgia versus Ole Miss and Tennessee, I would say I think Tennessee's probably better built to match up with Georgia. But
if I was Georgia
Ole Miss
right now,
was on the road, Tennessee's at home for Georgia. And
yes.
I also feel like losing last week, like, bro, I know
no,
Kirby just slaughtered the dudes all week.
I will
like,
say though,
they're
like
currently dying right now as we're speaking. They're dying right now.
I will say though, like I feel like I'm sure for a Georgia team that's like that though, I know the vibes in the locker room, like a lot of the time, it's kind of just water off your back. But there does get to a point, though, especially during the games, where you start to feel like the season's slipping. And I would not be surprised if they get into that game and that kind of just
like if it's
weight sits on them heavily. I'm sure during the week they're not like coaches are probably stressed out. Coaches are probably like, if we lose this, we're screwed. Players probably aren't thinking about that, but you get into the game, you actually feel the gravity of the game. I think that gets to be a little bit different. And I think that the loss last week might really put some weight on Georgia and make them feel kind of like a lot more stress during the game. And Tennessee, if you're Tennessee, you're walking in there, you're feeling better about yourself because now, unlike in previous years, you see how mortal Georgia really is. And this is your opportunity to staple this.
Yeah. And like Tennessee also, like, they can drop in, they'll probably still be in. So it's like there really isn't that much pressure on Tennessee. You don't want to.
We were talking about
you
last
win
episode.
Every game.
We were talking about last episode where if everybody ends up with 2 losses, Tennessee would get the boot out of Georgia, Tennessee, and Ole Miss, assuming Bama makes a title game. So A&M's also out.
Well, I was also looking something up, like assuming the teams win out and everything. I don't know how, but like I saw that LSU would be in the SEC championship.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I don't know what the math is on that.
I don't know how that adds up.
Aren't they a 3-loss? They are a 3-loss team.
But one of them was a USC, so SEC.
SEC still, record. Oh,
that's
gross. That would throw a massive wrench into everything. That would if they lost that though. I don't think if they
I think they'd stay out.
If they lose, they stay out. If they win, obviously they're in. But that would be crazy.
Chaos, I'd love to see LSU win the SEC championship.
I'm under the feeling where I would really bad for football, but I would really like to see Georgia and Bama both get booted out of the playoffs.
I want that more than anything because like this is. I was thinking about the other day. If this is Ohio State's natty year.
If you haven't been able to tell, the
stars have aligned. Like everyone else is down.
If you haven't been able to tell by this point, by the amount of arguments I've made over the past month towards Bama or Georgia not making the playoffs, I feel like this is me directly stating it. I'm trying to find ways for Georgia or Bama to not get in the playoffs. I will say that. But, I don't have a dog in the fight, really. My team is fighting for a G5 bid. So,
I mean, I just look at the landscape of college football, and the more I look at it, I just sit like, Ohio State better win the Natty this year. Like everything has a line. Georgia's down, Alabama's down.
Hey, there's
no threat in the ACC or Big 12.
Hey man, Your ongoing thing now is it doesn't matter if you play a team twice or not. So I would be kind of concerned about Oregon, but
Well, of course I'm gonna be concerned. I think they're the best team in the country right now. Like, obviously, I'm gonna respect them going into it. I don't know. I'm just not that concerned. And even if Ohio State drops it, it's like I think we'll be the 5 seed, and then
I wouldn't be. I'm
pony
talking about
up.
in the playoffs more so than the Big Ten championship. But
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to. Hey, and if we match the third time, then shit. Part of me kind of wants to lose that second one. Tough to beat a team three times. I've heard that my whole life. I've heard that one my whole life.
I would want to lose that second one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I would hope. I would literally tell. I
know that saying.
I would call up Ryan Day and I would say, Ryan, I swear to God, if you start Howard, if you start Judkins, if you start Ekmeka, if you start Jeremiah Smith, we're done.
No, I'd call him up, be like, hey, everything you and Chip did together in Philly, I need you to fucking forget all of it. You didn't do anything in Philly, all right? Pretend that shit didn't happen, Ryan and Chip. You guys are fine. Figure it out. Figure it out, Ryan and Chip. Don't make me call up Bob the Builder to fix our mess. Don't make me do it.
Yeah, remember when Bob had his team ranked to start the year? Whatever happened to Boston College?
Kind of just fell off the map. Everyone was like giving them their flowers for like the Florida State win at the start of the year. It's like Florida State sucks.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And they like played Miami close.
Do you think that Norvell is on the hot seat right now, or you just think
I have no clue. You're
the resident
so bad. It's been such a bad turnaround that like I genuinely I've never seen anything.
Well, let's put it this way:
to go from 13-0 undefeated,
I think that also
to that 1
you. To be fair, they did lose like all of their wide receivers, their running back, and their quarterback.
I mean that's fun, but I don't care. Like,
no, you should be able to recruit.
Programs don't drop off like that.
No, they don't. I do think that DJU just sucks that bad.
He does suck, but
sucks.
That's Norvell's fault for taking him.
If Billy Napier, if I'm Mike Norvell, I see Billy Napier and I say, if he's safe, I am golden.
Yeah, I mean, all the Florida schools, they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, Mario Cristobal's turned it around this year too. I don't know if it's more on the back of Cam Ward or anything else.
Well, he slaughtered it in the offseason. Like, that's why I had Miami in all those position group things, because he killed it.
Yeah, might need to remake those. But I don't know. Do you have anything else for college football? I feel like that's probably about it.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of it overall. I'd say people are starting to realize, the 5 seeds like kind of nice. The first time I heard the 12-team playoff format with 5 conference champ buys, I was like, so the 5 seed gets to play the ACC Big 12 champ first. Give me that one. Yeah, give me that seed.
Wait, doesn't 5 play 12?
Well, okay, G5 bye week, then on to BYU or SMU or Miami.
Hey man, Boise State played Oregon pretty damn close. I don't know.
With all due respect to Boise State, especially saying the last 3 weeks and how teams, hey, if you
I'm going to say this, Grant,
if you put 8 in the box on Boise, things tend to go well for your defense.
If Tulane ends up getting that and it's Ohio State Tulane, if that's what happens, I will never, ever, ever let you hear the end of it if Tulane wins that game.
Sure, I'll be honest. That's just not possible unless Ohio State entire team got COVID.
Hey man, that's exactly why
team got called up.
This is exactly why I would never let you hear the end of it.
I mean, yeah, that's just what I believe.
It's exactly like I legitimately think. Like I don't know how
I'll be honest. You shouldn't ever let me hear the end of it, because like that would be one of the biggest upsets ever. If Tulane beat Ohio State in a playoff game, that might be the biggest upset in college football history. That would pass State, Michigan, because that was for a Michigan team that sucked ass.
Okay, all right, let's get into the NFL, Grant. Last week I went 8-6. I'm sitting at a record of 86, and what would that be?
49.
Yeah, 49. I was gonna say 50, 49. Yeah, Matt, I'm a little slow on math. You're at 84 and 51. So
I want
yeah.
to start off by saying this. I don't think there's ever been a point in this podcast history where we were both over 60% at the same time, like after like 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
like after
no.
2 weeks, we both
The,
started
the,
hot. But
the
like,
long term, when you're in the groove of it, like
yeah,
yeah, I think I've been in since week 6. Week 6, I hit 60 percentile, and I've been in that since from week 6
I
to
feel like
now. It's
that
now
was
week
earlier.
11. Week 5, I was at 55.7. Week 6, I hit 61 point.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Technically, our week 5, but
I don't have the percentages written down on my end for my past week, so I don't know what mine are. But it's been an interesting NFL season.
I will say I was a
I think
little
we're starting to
concerned.
see a bit of separation here with some of these teams. I think
Oh yeah,
we're in that
we
period
definitely
where we
are.
kind of know these teams.
I did get a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie. I started off. I had like
Oh, I was
five,
shaky
six,
to start
five,
last
six
week.
losses, and the thing replaying in my head. You were in my brain. You got in there. You were rattling. It was just it's gonna fall off. Gonna fall off at some point. You always fall off mid year. It's always goes inverse. It's just history. Obviously, this was a worse week. This is probably the worst week I've had in about 7 weeks. But still positive, and that's what matters. Because at this point, I tend to fall off the wagon a little bit. So I think that's kind of we've averted that. But I did lose this week. I lost by 1 game. I don't remember which game we split there. Um,
I picked Steelers. That was it.
yes, you did, and that also came down to the wire. By the way, that
Yeah.
could have gone either way, which makes me feel better about the Commanders. To be fair. We are recording this for reference on Thursday at 5:01
Yes, the
p.m.
Washington Philadelphia game has not
yet
kicked
to
off.
start. This is going to go up once again after that game. So the first pick is not relevant at all to you guys listening, but you can hear what we foretold at that point in time. But Grant, here are the games. Thursday night, Commanders at Eagles for first place in the NFC Beast. Sunday, all right, noon, Vikings at Titans, Packers at Bears, Jaguars at Lions, Raiders at Dolphins, Rams at Patriots, Browns at Saints, Colts at Jets, Ravens at Steelers. Mid-afternoon slate, we've got Falcons at Broncos, Seahawks at 49ers, game of the week, Chiefs at Bills. Sunday night, we have Bengals in LA against the Chargers. And then Monday night, we got the Battle of Texas, Texans versus the Cowboys. I think that one's pretty easy. But Grant, here are my picks. All right. Commanders, Vikings, Packers, Lions, Dolphins, Rams, Browns, Colts, Ravens, Broncos, 49ers, Bills, Bengals, and Texans. I just want to note, I originally had the Jets. I looked at my historical performance when I picked the Jets. I have picked the Jets. Every time I picked the Jets, they've lost.
You've been wrong?
Every time I pick the Jets, they have lost. So I'm hedging my bets here.
I thought you were going to say any game involving the Jets that you've picked, you've been wrong.
Well, that's the problem is most of the games involving the Jets,
I think that might be me with the Arizona Cardinals.
That's the problem. Most of the games I picked the Jets, involving Jets, I've picked the Jets, and I have been wrong. But I'm pretty sure every game I picked the Jets to win to this point, I have gotten incorrect. So I'm just hedging my bet and just hoping that the Jets lose.
Yeah, the Jets are an absolute disaster. I despise them. And yeah, they're both atrocious. That's a coin flip game for me. All right, here are my picks. Eagles, Packers, Lions, Vikings, Dolphins, Rams, Browns, Jets, Ravens, Broncos, Niners, Bills, Chargers. Do you pick Bills?
I took Bills, yes.
Fuck, the Chiefs are so winning. So win. Bills, Chargers, Texans. The Battle of Texas Monday night. Texans, Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's what spurred the Houston problems thought in my head earlier. But
I would say that's pretty solidified of which way that one's gonna go.
The Battle of Texas. Who cares? I'd say obviously game of the week's Chiefs Bills. I mean, my God.
Yeah, I will say this. I was looking at the Bills.
Out. Commanders Eagles, I think, is 2.
I was looking at
Ravens Steelers 3.
Yeah, I was
looking. Steelers might be ahead.
That's 2.
Yeah, Ravens Steelers.
I was looking at the Bills.
My game might be top 5. Bengals Chargers. We might be like the 5th best game of the week.
Maybe. But the Bills, Chiefs, 49ers, Seahawks above you. The Bills and Chiefs.
Is that?
That's an inter-division game.
Yeah, but the Seahawks are the least interesting team to watch in the National Football League. They're
just
so
on a
boring.
pure value, like the impact is more what I'm looking at
there. I'm trying to not be biased, but I think objectively Bengals Chargers is more
better teams, but impact,
that's what I'm talking about.
Impact wise, that game. But I was saying the Bills, I'm pretty sure have not played anybody of consequence yet. They've lost I'm sorry, they haven't beaten anybody of consequence yet. They've lost to the Ravens and they lost to the Texans. Outside of that, though, their best win is probably against the Cardinals week 1. They've played They've played the Dolphins, the Jags, the Jets, Titans, Seahawks, Dolphins, and Colts. Those are their wins.
So, oh God, the Chiefs are so. Why did we pick the Bills, Everett? Why the fuck did we do it?
It's in Buffalo, Grant.
Dude, I don't care.
Also, the Broncos showed me that the Chiefs are human. So,
well, I've seen that every week, but then the Chiefs also remind me every fourth quarter that they're the Kansas City Chiefs, and they win.
The referees remind you each fourth quarter, not the Chiefs. The refs remind you.
Well, they're still in the game.
The refs,
the Chiefs are going to win it. Like,
I also cannot see the Chiefs going undefeated this year. And
objectively speaking, no, like it's not going to happen, but I just don't know where they lose.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. I was thinking about last week. I was thinking last week about it. And I thought the Broncos might have an outside chance of beating them. Obviously I didn't pick them, but they almost did.
I feel like those are the best chances in their division.
Really, I don't know what that was. That was weird. Yeah, your mic's out now. That's what that was. All right. Well, we'll have to deal with that one in post. But look, the thing is, typically the Chargers come out. Like that would have been the game. That would have been the trap game. I would have thought is the Chargers coming out for their game in Chiefs Stadium.
It was looking pretty good.
But
shut up the NFL suspending Derwin for that game. Maybe if Derwin was playing in that game, fat-ass Mahomes doesn't throw the pick to then wipe out Rashee Rice's ACL. So that's on you, NFL. You're the reason Rashee Rice got hurt.
I do think that the Chargers, because they lost the game, I think there's like a pretty good chance that you guys are going to win that game in LA now. You always split with them.
Well, that one was in LA.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, never mind then. Yeah, you guys are going to beat them in Kansas City. I thought that one was it. I thought I was looking at the Chargers schedule.
You'd be correct about that. Justin Herbert has a positive win record in Arrowhead in his NFL career.
Yeah, talk about Burrowhead. It's Herbie head.
The Chargers have not beaten the Chiefs in their last, I believe, 6 games they played. I don't think
Brandon Staley was the coach.
Since 2021.
It's fine. But look, the Chiefs are now in the hard part of their schedule. Look, they play the Bills, they play the Chargers again, they play the Browns defense. Offense is inconsequential. Play the Texans, they play the Steelers, they play the Broncos.
Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns. That's just one opponent. I mean, Panthers.
Yeah, that's why I said the Browns are half a team. The Browns are the defense. Browns are just half a team. But they do still have to play the Texans. I can't hear you again. Your microphone's out. Microphone is out. The Browns are half a team. They still do have to play the Texans, still have to play the Chiefs, or not the Chiefs. They still have to play the Steelers, still have to play the Broncos, still have to play the Chargers, right? So there's a lot of games of consequence still on the record. I do just think the best team out of that lot, unless you maybe say the Steelers right now, is probably the Bills. I think I have the Steelers ranked higher than the Bills.
No, I'd say the Bills are the best out of those teams. Yeah,
probably. I think I have
actually
the Steelers.
I think I have the Steelers.
I think I have the Steelers ranked higher than the Bills.
Russie's nice.
Rusty's looking. Rusty's.
Rusty's
I'm not
nice.
gonna say the slogan, but we all know what slogan it is.
They're letting him cook.
Yeah, no, they are. They gave him the like the child cooking set, and it's working. All right, it's the toy.
Yeah, cookie cutter. Is that
Cookie
what it's
cutters.
called?
I don't know what it
Yes.
is. But the plastic toys where all you got to do is you just turn on
Play-Doh,
some
fun to
things.
play with, not to eat. Yeah.
Yeah. Except we all ate it, right? Or is that just a me issue?
I would say a majority of kids ate it. I was not one of them.
We have to do a study on what the long term.
I would say a majority. They have to make that.
There has to be a long term impact study. No, it definitely was.
Yeah.
But I need to know what the long term impacts of me as a child eating Play-Doh. Like, did it make me smarter? Would I have gotten to Harvard if I didn't eat it? Should I have had more? Like, what was the impact? Like, I don't know. I think your microphone's out again. This is wonderful. But I mean, look, the biggest game of the week, obviously Chiefs Bills. Both of us had the Bills. I think the mark for that is really going to be Amari Cooper. And if Amari Cooper plays, I think that's going to be what makes the difference there. Chiefs, interesting kind of, I don't know what I'm getting out of there. I don't know what I'm getting.
I think Isaiah Pacheco is.
I don't think he's back. I don't think he's back yet. But honestly, it doesn't matter.
Maybe not.
Kareem Hunt's kind of doing the same thing right now.
I'll be honest. One thing I've noticed, dude, Kareem Hunt looks so fat, bro. He looks so out of shape. Oh my God. Like the other week, I was watching my brother's walking by, and he's like, "Dude, who is that fat ass on the Chiefs?" And it looks like just Kareem Hunt. He's like, "What? That's Kareem Hunt? Like what? What happened?"
I think he is kind of doing well over there, though.
I mean, he's doing pretty good. I will say this though, Kansas City Chiefs, statistically the best O line in the NFL, especially that interior O line.
Yeah.
Message to all NFL fans: it's a pretty good formula of success when you've got the quarterback and the line. Then you could go wide receiver by committee.
Well, hey, I did. I don't know if you saw this, but Patrick Mahomes really has not been that good this year. Like he has not been.
But that's what horrifies me.
No, that does scare me. The fact that they're 9-0 and he's not even playing well. He has been bad. I did just get a fraud alert, so I don't know if that means that he's going to be worse or if that means that this is like he's going to be way better. That it's a fraud on him being bad or fraud that this is not as bad as he's going to be. I don't know if you saw this. You see the tweet that has been going around of the difference between him and Tom Brady at this point of their undefeated seasons. So Tom Brady, what was it, 2008? I'm trying to think which season.
I think
7. So that season through 10 games, or through 9 games, whatever it is. I think through 10 weeks. Tom Brady had 38 touchdowns and 4 interceptions through 10 weeks, Grant. Patrick Mahomes has 12 touchdowns and I think 9 picks. That's the difference in when you want to talk about GOAT debates and you want to talk about Mahomes being better than Brady already. That's the difference. Through 10 weeks, Brady had 38 touchdowns, Grant. Like that is absurd.
That is
and I think like
ridiculous.
3,000 passing yards through 10 weeks.
I'm just taking a quick look back at it. Back-to-back 38-point weeks to start this, 3 straight weeks scoring 38, 34 week 4, 34 week 5, 48 week 6, 49 week 7, 52 week 8. Thank God they had to stop somewhere. Only a 24-20 win against Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. Oh my God, they dropped a 56 burger on Buffalo in Buffalo, week 11. Then they beat the Eagles close one by 3 at home. I guess Eagles pretty good that year with McNabb. And then they beat the Ravens. That's a lit Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Willis McGahee was on the Ravens at that time.
Really?
Pretty sick. Steelers put up 34 points on them.
That's with Big Ben though. Still, like that makes sense.
Beat the Jets week 15. Beat the Dolphins week 16. Put up 38. on the road in New York at Giants. Ironically, Giants would end up beating them in the Super Bowl later that year.
Already beat
But
twice, I guess.
uh,
Big difference, though, I would say. I mean, very, very big difference in quarterback play level there. But I do think that the other game that we really need to look at, I think it's inconsequential to look at the Commanders Eagles game. It's going to be over by the time we post this. So I would like to look at the Ravens Steelers game, Grant. I think that that's going to be the next most important one and probably the next best game available. Really, I think
yeah,
this is
I'm on Ravens, but shit.
Look, hey, I think
I'm sticking with it. I'm not changing.
I took the Ravens too. I took the Ravens too, but like the Steelers have the vibes right now. The Steelers are a wagon.
They're cooking.
Yeah. And it's just also Lamar is just playing out of his mind. And that is
this is the best
Derrick
passing
Henry.
season I've seen out of Lamar. Like the strides he's taken this year. Like Lamar, I used to always think like, hey, the one problem about the Ravens is they can't play from behind. Like they can't pass their way back into a game. They have to run.
And I honestly
stay
do
on schedule, but they don't need to anymore.
I do think that them having Derrick Henry has made that possible for a wide variety.
Hey, in the offseason, Everett, I was saying I don't think we're ready as an NFL fandom community to experience Lamar and Derrick Henry together.
Like you thought you would see more people being like
no one talked about that.
Henry just signed.
Nobody talked about that in the offseason.
I feel like that was probably the biggest. That was like the biggest thing was Derrick Henry just signed with the Ravens. Yeah,
like those are definitely the two.
Saquon was bigger.
That was talked about.
Yeah.
That one was. Yeah, everyone was talking about that one, but like the Derrick Henry just went so under.
About, I still wish that Saquon went to the Texans. That would be nasty.
Oh, that would have been sick. I do think that like
objectively speaking,
nice. Yeah, like Joe Mixon is nice. Like he didn't get enough credit when he was in Cincy. Like people were like, "Oh, Burrow, Jamar."
He did seem kind of washed though by the end of his time in Cincy.
He did, but it's like maybe he wasn't. Like maybe he was just being.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe not. But look, this is really gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. It's one of those games where offense, defense, defense, offense, right? It's not like, oh, who can limit the offense more? It's legitimately gonna be, okay, can your offense beat this defense?
And yeah, it's like I think, both teams are very strong in offense and defense. So, like, here's one thing: Kyle Hamilton, he's healthy, right? I know he went out in that last game. I think he's all right. I saw one play where he tripped on his ankle. If he's out, that's gonna be a problem. But I think he's gonna play. I hope he plays.
I think he's.
My only thought is last week there were some things put on tape that you like. Hey, this year against Marlon Humphrey, like Jamar Chase is averaging like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh no, I mean, but also I think that those two games were such outliers though, because both teams just absolutely worked the other team's defense. Like those offense, they were shootouts both times. So
yeah, no, it was very strange. It wasn't the AFC North game you think of.
I mean, look, the Steelers' offense is good, right? The Steelers' offense, it's not going to harm you, but it's also not going to run away with the game. Like it's not going to do that. So, Russell Wilson is playing very good football. He's playing very good football, but he's also, it's not going to be, the mark on that game. It's not going to be a giant shootout. I don't think. I think it's going to probably, like, by shootout, I mean like 35 points, right? Like what we've been seeing between the Bengals and the Ravens. But I think the winner of this game is most likely going to win the AFC. Even if they play a second, I don't know what their schedules are if they have to play a second time, but
they this is their first time.
Yeah, I think that the winner of this will probably win the AFC North. I mean, look at the Steelers down the stretch. Steelers have to play Browns twice, Bengals twice, Eagles, Ravens again, and Chiefs. That's not pretty. Not a pretty
That's
schedule.
very rolled.
Maybe I'm wrong on this take.
I'm looking at it right now.
Back.
The Steelers' rest of season is so rolled. Oh my god!
Yes,
Thank God they got the Browns.
Ravens play Steelers twice, Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Texans.
Oh,
so
yeah, bro. Ravens are.
Yeah, they might be coming
I
through.
cannot believe the Ravens.
I will say though, if the Steelers if the Steelers win the majority of those games, I'm horrified.
Bro, the Ravens make zero sense. Their first loss was the Chiefs, and hey, maybe likely was in on that last touchdown. Who knows if it was out? But they have 2 losses to the Raiders and the Browns, 2 of the worst teams in the NFL.
Every time somebody's like, hey, why are the Eagles not ranked above the Packers? I'm like, do you want me to rank the Raiders above the Ravens right now? Or the Browns?
Yeah, like head to head can't be everything in the NFL. So yeah, I mean, that team just makes no sense. Like they could just get caught sometimes.
Yeah. I also I just realized Jaden Daniels has only thrown 9 touchdown passes. I thought he threw more than that.
How many rushing?
Oh, I don't know.
He probably has a good amount of rushing.
No.
He doesn't.
I don't think he has any. All right, you might have.
I know he has at least one. I know he vultured one of Brian Robinson's touchdowns earlier this year, so I know there's at least one.
He has 4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
13 touchdowns.
I think he missed
total, I guess.
I think he missed a game.
I think he was going to miss, but he didn't end up missing. That was the one where I was like, screw it.
Wait, so Everett, are you telling me as an NFL fandom we're all overhyping Jaden Daniels?
No, I did. Well, I think people were putting him in MVP conversations before you did that. You were trying to put him in MVP conversation a couple weeks ago. And I said, then you're overhyping him. And I think in that aspect, overhyping. But doesn't mean he's not been elite. Doesn't mean he's not been a top quarterback in the same way that CJ Stroud was last year. I just not MVP conversations. I had to step back. Last year, I was putting CJ Stroud in MVP conversations. I have to step back this year. I can't do it twice in a row.
Yeah, I'd say he's going through his classic sophomore slump. I'm old enough to remember that term. That used to be very common growing up.
Yeah, some would say Anthony Richardson is in that too, except that's been his career. So starting this week again.
Yeah, that one's that. Oh my god, I totally forgot that aspect. I'm happy I stayed on the Jets now.
Well, that's why I originally had the Jets, and the only reason I changed from the Jets was because every time I've picked them, they've lost.
I think there's a non-0% chance though that Aaron Rodgers just like retires like mid-play of
he
this
does
game.
The Antonio Brown just run off Vontae Davis.
He one-ups Antonio Brown. It's Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. He needs more attention than AB, so he'll be mid-play, like do the timeout like that Shaq commercial and be like, I'm out. Drop the football, hand the football to, I know DeForest Buckner's hurt, but pretend he's healthy. Hand it to him, and he walks it into the end zone.
Mid-play, looks at the team, just tosses the ball behind him, just walks off in the sunset. Just a live ball. Just keep walking.
Or he like just takes off his pads and it's just a shirt that says RFK for president. And it's just like, oh, he's back in on that again. Back. Oh my god.
It just says I've been.
That was still the funniest rumor. Aaron Rodgers might retire and run as VP for RFK. Like, who came up with that? Like, what?
He just literally says that I got a role in the government. Trump gave me a role in the government. That's what it says underneath the shirt. He's like, I'm now the Secretary of Defense. I'm retiring. I'm out.
Like, yeah. But yeah, those are definitely games of the week. Yeah. Chiefs, Bills. Yeah. That's where everything's focused on. But
that is really it.
Did you pick Broncos too?
I did take Broncos.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like Chargers fan talking here. I'm like a little concerned that in like 2 seasons the Broncos could be like very good.
You're on the Bosa wagon.
Not because of him. but like the defense can get together. Like maybe they can get another piece on the O line. Maybe add a receiver. Like be
Well, they need to add a receiver.
competent.
Let's start there. They have to have a receiver.
Yeah, no, they have to.
They also need to figure out what's going on in that backfield because I have no idea.
Yeah, but I'm just it's like in terms of the pieces they have, like you got Surtain, you got Coop, not on the craziest expensive contract.
I wouldn't be
You have
surprised.
your rookie quarterback.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went and drafted like Tedero McMillan or something. Draft.
Yeah, I mean, for my sake, don't do that, Denver. You guys should be looking at like a guy like a Denzel Burke, round one. He's a great corner. He's never been scorched ever. Lockdown defense. Uh oh, oh goodness, maybe not. Real quick, gotta take a quick call.
Well, I think we'll wrap up here. Honestly, we'll probably wrap up right here. So
here, wrap. I gotta go real quick.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, this has been an Everett episode for the last like 25 minutes. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Really the big games, like we said, Commanders, Eagles, and Ravens, Steelers, and Chiefs, Bills. Kind of big AFC week. But going down the stretch here is where it's going to get interesting because we're going to have a lot more of these big matchups that we were talking about with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the AFC North is going to get a lot more competitive. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod. We post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms, so make sure to check us out there. We also post exclusive content on TikTok and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod as well, so make sure to check us out there as well. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett6 and at Waterboy Grant. And with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.